All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us here at Extreme Outfitters. I'm Zach. Today, we got another video for you, obviously. We are going to compare the new PSE Decree to the Mach 30. So this is gonna be a carbon versus aluminum. We're actually gonna go through, you'll notice my Mach 30 is already built. We're gonna go through step by step, build out this Decree, and then compare the two and see if there's any advantages to the carbon versus the aluminum bows. All right, so the Mach 30 was in the lineup last year for 2024. It is in the lineup again for 2025. An incredible bow. So this is PSE's 30-inch carbon bow. So right out of the gate, we'll start with the specs and we'll do a comparison. So again, this is a 30-inch carbon bow, so 30 inches axle to axle. It's got your EC2 cam on it. It's got a brace height of 6 inches. This bow has an IBO of 338 feet per second, which you'll notice is very similar to the Decree. Again, let-off options 80-90%. And the overall weight of this bow comes in right around 3.6 pounds, and that's bare bow. And then you have draw length adjustment from 24.5 inches to 30 inches. So we'll compare that to the new 2025 Decree. They just released this bow. Again, fantastic looking bow. This is their aluminum version. So they've got an Evolve 30, now they've got a Decree 31.5, and they've got an Evolve 33. So this fits right in that sweet spot to me. So 30-inch bow versus a 31-inch bow. We're looking at specs. Again, you got your same EC2 cam. This has a brace height of 6.5 inches, so a half-inch longer brace height. It's got an ATA length, like we said, 31.5 inches. So a little bit longer brace height and a little bit longer axle to axle. So this technically should be a little bit more forgiving bow to shoot. We've got IBO is going to be the same exact speed as the Mach 30. This comes in as an IBO of 338, and that's feet per second. And then we've got let-off options, again, 80 to 90%, and your overall weight is 4.65 pounds, which really isn't bad for an aluminum bow, in my opinion. And then draw length adjustments, 25 to 30.5 inches. So we've got the comparisons. They've all got the same features they've carried over. We've got the Easy 220 shim system, full draw stability, but there is a big difference when you go from carbon to aluminum. One being the weight, and then two being the feel of the bow. So before we do the speed test and we do the feel test and all of that, we're gonna go ahead and build this out, and I'm gonna show you how to actually set up and tune the PSE bows. It's a breeze. So we're gonna start, get our rest mounted, and we're gonna be shooting an Easton Axis 5mm out of these. This is my actual hunting arrow. This thing comes in, I wanna say 450, get all my stuff out of the way here so we can look. 454 grains. So this is what we're gonna shoot out of both of them. We're gonna set both these bows up at 28.5 inches and kind of see how they perform side by side, considering they both have an IBO of 338 feet per second. So speed should be similar. All right, so we always tie knock sets on all the bows we set up. Just makes a nice, easy reference point for your arrows. And it helps to eliminate, for us, any knock pinch that we get when we're setting these bows up. Plus, if you have to come in and get a new D-loop put on, we've already got those knock points set. So it's very easy and very fast for us to tie a new D-loop on the bow for you. All right, so we got our knock set on, nice and clean. Now we'll go ahead and tie on our D-loop. So when we tie D-loops on our bows, we always tie the burn end at the top away from the shooter's face. So right-handed shooter, it's going to be the top burn will be, oops, make a mess, to the right, and on the left-handed shooter it'd be to the left, and then the opposite on the bottom. Put these down, make them nice and snug. There you go, nice clean D-loop on there. You check that everything is level. And it's almost perfect. From there, we check the center shot. Using our little Hamsky tool here makes it nice. So we put it on the right way. So we set these bows at 13/16 from the riser. So this rest is set perfectly. So this tool just makes it nice and easy. It's got the little indicators on there, 13/16 marked perfectly. So our center shot's good. So we're gonna go ahead and now we are gonna attach this is a ripcord ratchet. So what we're gonna do is attach our cable to our bottom limb because this is a limb driven rest. And we typically run this about 1.5 inches or so from the axle on the bottom limb. This runs right up through here. Take pull, snug this down. And the ripcord ratchet has been a very popular rest for us. Very reliable. I'll show you in just a second. So snug down. So whenever the actual launcher pad comes up a little bit, you can take and press it down with your finger and then just tighten that by turning this rest back, and now it's all the way flush again. So it's a nice feature on there. So center shot's good. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna run one of the PSE bars on it. Same bar that I'm running on my Mach 30. I want these builds to be similar. Obviously they're gonna be a little bit different, just for a kind of good comparison, but we're gonna run the same length stabilizer. So this is their new stabilizers that they just released this past year, the Kill Shocks. This is an 8-inch bar in black. And then we've got an UltraView UV slider, the Picatinny mount, which we are gonna mount on this bow as well. The UltraView sights have been incredibly popular this year, just very, very reliable. And I think majority of the guys here are running these. So on my Mach 30, you'll notice it's a dialed sight. That's what I've been running on that this year, and actually the past year, with really good luck. We actually got the new dialed sights on the way, so we're excited to bring those in. But, so these are very similar. This is how I would personally set it up myself for if I was hunting with this bow. I would run that 8-inch bar on it. And as far as rests go, the ripcord ratchet for me, or one of the Hamsky, either an Epsilon or a Hybrid Hunter Pro, are my kind of go-to. Aside from this, I've got a Q8E Ultra Rest that integrates into the rear of the riser. All of these bows have the feature to integrate your rest into the rear of the riser, which keeps the a lot of the clutter off the side of the bow, so everything is in line, so you've got no weight to one side or the other, so the bows hold really well. Pretty much all your bows nowadays have that, but it's a great feature. And again, pick mounted option. Either one could be run with the pick mount. Obviously, we've still got this one on the Decree. I took the pick mount off the Mach 30 and chose to run the dial sight for this particular bow. All right, so from there, we're gonna go back here. We're gonna check the timing on this bow. Make sure timing on it is good, and then we are going to check the draw weight while we're doing that. Put it through paper and see what it looks like, but before we do that, let's set it on my draw length. It's at 29 right now. We're going to put it at 28.5 before I get carried away. Again, very easy to change draw length on these bows. No rotating mod. We are on 28.5 now. Let's go back and put it on the draw board and make sure it's in time. And see how much weight it's pulling. So this is the Pro Press we use from Specialty Archery. We use these and we use easy presses, but this one's got our draw board on it. Timing is absolutely perfect from the factory. So good job, PSE. That makes it easy. It's pulling right at 68 pounds, so we'll leave it there. That should be fine. That's close. My bow, my Mach 30 is pulling, I believe, right at 69 pounds. All right, so timing's good, we're set up. Let's go ahead and just put it through paper. Let me put a new sheet of paper on here real quick. All right, moment of truth from the factory. Like I said, we got everything level. So we're gonna put it through paper and see what this arrow's doing on E, and then see what adjustments we need to make to get it shooting a bullet hole. All right, so we are just a little bit knock left. So that's about a ½ inch. So I'm gonna double check center shot again real quick. And then just to make sure it's right within that 13/16 just to reconfirm it. And then we'll see if we need to shim it or not. So we made a slight adjustment in the rest just to make sure it's perfect at that 13/16. So on these ripcord ratchets, there's these little screws right here. I'm a big fan of the micro adjustable option. This is the non-micro, so you have to manually move it. So you gotta kind of be careful so you don't move it too far one way or the other. But we made a slight adjustment and see what kind of tear we get now. And if we're still getting a tear, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the press and then show you how to swap the shims on this bow. Yeah, we're still getting a bad tear, so we're gonna go ahead and shim this thing. So we got a knock left tear, so that means we're gonna move the cam to the left. The great thing about the PSE bows is just how easy it is to shim these cams. I'll show you here in just a second. So, got to press the bow just a little bit. So, the way the Easy 220 shim system works is it's got to equal 220. So they've got a bunch of different configurations, or a handful of configurations, excuse me, that you can get. So we've got a 100 on the left and we've got a 120 on the right. So we're going to go to a 140/80 shim because we want to move that cam further to the left. They've got three different, Jared, what do they got? Four different shim options? Four different shim options that you can go with. So we're going from a 100, 120, which comes from the factory, and we're gonna go a 140/80. So again, we got a left tear, so we're gonna shim that cam to the left. And I'll show you, it's very, very easy. All you do is take this tool, we press the bow a little bit, and we pull the shims out. So again, that was a 100. Over here, we've got a 120 as it should be. And we're gonna take and put this 140 on the right side, again, to move the cam to the left. Pops right in. And then we will take and put this 80 on this side and repeat the process on this cam. Clearly the 80-140 configuration is our most popular in the shop, as we have just about all of the other configurations were very low on these. All right, just that easy. And double check 80, 140, 80, 140, everything's seated. So we're gonna go back to the tuning room now. And looky there, just like that. That's the great thing about this system, is it makes it that easy. We could fine tune that a little bit more, but just simply making sure we have this rest set at 13/16, and then making sure the bow is obviously in time, center shots level, put it through paper, see we're getting a tear, and we can quickly put it in a press, swap those shim systems out and fix that tear, shimming the cam one way or the other. And typically for us, we see with most right-handed shooters, shooting like 28.5, 29 inches, 70 pounds like this is, we use that 80-140 configuration more times than we don't. So from here, we're gonna take, and we're actually gonna step over onto the range now. And we're gonna compare these bows side by side, and I'm actually gonna make JR come over too and shoot them as well, because he has a lot of experience with the Mach 30. He just finally came in this morning, and get his take on it and how he feels about the two bows. So give us just a second, we're gonna head over to the range. All right guys, so we're over here. We're gonna shoot these through the chronograph, our fancy Garmin chronograph. We're gonna get this set up real quick. But we're gonna shoot both these bows. Like I said, this one's pulling 69 pounds, this one's pulling like 68.5 pounds. So they're very similar, but the specs are different. So me and JR are gonna go through both of them. JR has a lot of experience last year with the Mach 30 as well. We were both big fans of it. We sold a lot of them. So we're just gonna kind of compare them now, speed-wise. Obviously, JR is a little bit longer in draw length. He typically shoots 30 inches. I shoot 28.5. But this is already set up at mine, so we want to do kind of a fair comparison. So I'll shoot this one first. .281.5 feet per second, and that's again with that 454 grain arrow. Same arrow here. Let's see what our speeds look like.
Very easy to pull back.
It is, isn't it?
That was super dead.
So 276. So these bows have the same IBO, 338 feet per second, but there's a little bit of a deviation as far as speed goes, clearly. 276.5 to 281. Yep. But drawing that bow.
That was super smooth.
Yeah, so shoot the Mach 30 again. That's one of the things I noticed when in the tuning room, shooting them side by side, you really can tell a difference in the feel of the bow between that 31.5 inch aluminum bow and this 30-inch carbon bow. So for some reason, the, the Decree, it's way smoother feeling.
This one didn't really dump on the Mach 30. I felt like there was a little bit more dump on the Decree.
Yeah.
Still very dead though too.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're very similar setups when you look at them side by side. Same stabilizer configuration. Drop away rest on both of them, obviously a little bit different. This has got a pick mounted sight. We've got the dialed sight that's mounted off to the side. But overall feel, both in your hand, I mean, you can clearly tell a difference in overall weight.
The Mach 30 is considerably lighter.
It is. So I'm gonna actually go grab a scale because we'll do an overall weight comparison. So overall weight of the Mach 30, and this is loaded, 5.5 pounds. So that's pretty light.
This one's 6.3, 6.4.
So almost a pound difference. It does feel a little bit more dramatic than that though, to me.
It does.
I don't know why. I mean, it's only a pound, but you can definitely tell a difference overall in weight. But to me, the draw cycle of the Decree actually feels a little bit smoother. I shoot this again. And these are both at 90% let off too. I mean, this is really smooth. Shoots well. Very dead in the hand.
Yeah. The Decree felt like it had a little bit more of a dump to it, but it was still very smooth.
Let's see. Yeah, the Decree feels smoother with that same cam to me. I mean, it holds on target really well. I really like the grip on the Decree though, a lot. It's the Mach 30's thin too, but I mean, it's got that little bit of rubber coating. It just feels really good in the hand. Both bows are extremely dead in the hand.
They are.
So as far as comparison wise, carbon versus aluminum, I think you can go either way. And there's a couple things to consider. One being the major one, the budget, right? So we've got a $1,900 bow versus, I think the Decree is
around $1,200.
Around $1,200. So you're looking about a $600 or $700 difference cost-wise. And then you got the other thing to consider is weight. So you get a little bit less weight, a little bit smaller package with the Mach 30. But they feel pretty equal as far as like overall feel. I mean, dead in the hand. But for me, the little bit longer ATA bow, if I only had one bow to do everything, I honestly would probably opt for that 31.5-inch Decree. One, I save a little bit of money on it. Two, that 31.5 to me, typically 31 to 32 inches for my draw length, 28.5 inches. I'm a little bit more accurate with it.
Right.
But one of the things we were discussing last year with the Mach 30 is how well it shot as a 30-inch bow. Though.
Correct. Yeah, and that just comes into the engineering with the bow because it's more of a reflex riser with that. So when your limbs are coming back, they're not coming straight down. They're coming more back and then down. So that's what's giving you better brace height. So it is going to be a little bit better performing bow for you. Yeah. More forgiving.
Yes. Yep. That makes sense. So again, either way, the Mach 30 has been incredibly popular, still in the lineup for this year.
Yep.
They've introduced the new Mach 33. So you got two great carbon option ATA lengths to go with, 30 or 33. And then you've got all their aluminum bow options this year. So they've got a 30, a 31.5,
33, and a 35 on the Mach 35.
33. Oh, and they got a Mach 35 that they've released. So there's a lot of options for you. But if you're looking for a shorter axle to axle length, and you're trying to figure out if you want to go carbon or go aluminum, the Mach 30 and the Decree are going to be both great options for you.
Yep.
You know, other things, again, key things to consider: budget, weight, and again, ATA length. I mean, do you have a 31-inch draw length? You're probably not going to go with a Mach 30 because it only goes to 30 inches.
Correct.
But the Decree goes to 30.5. So you do get a little bit more draw length out of this if you do have that longer draw length. But yeah. What else
great bows. They're all great bows.
There is. You should own one of each if you can. That's what we try to do. But yeah, great options. Again, if you're looking for PSE bows, the Decree for 2025, great option. Mach 30 still in the lineup. They've got all the great new color options as well, which we don't have any in the shop right now because our Mach 33 sold out right away. Yep. But they've got the new olive color and then
Tan.
it's a tan. It's a clay color, I believe.
Yep.
So, and then they've got some new camo colors they're introducing. So a lot of great color options, a lot of great axle to axles, carbon, aluminum. PSE really has done a fantastic job at putting out a bunch of different bows for
Everybody.
literally anyone and everyone, no matter the draw length, draw weight, or configuration you're looking for. So if you're looking for PSE bows, you're interested in shooting them, come by our shop here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Come by and see us. Come see JR or me or any of the other staff we got here. Test them out. Hopefully we'll have a big influx of stock coming very soon from PSE and all the other bow brands. So if you're interested in a new bow, come by, hang out, and shoot them. If not, you know where to go.
ExtremeOutfitters.com.
There you go. Head over to the website for all of your archery needs. We look forward to hearing from you guys. Drop some comments in the comments box below. Let us know what you guys think. I'm curious to see what JR is going to be shooting this year. Still up in the air as to what either one of us are going to be shooting. So we got a lot of bows to go through, but I think there's going to be a lot of great options this year. So check out PSE Decree, Mach 30, any of the PSE bows. Come by and see us here at Extreme Outfitters in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Thanks for watching, guys.